There was a rumor that started from this Extras Ones Noticias and Rumores account that has over 50,000 followers, and it talks about leaks and rumors in the game industry. So apparently it was thought to be a legitimate source. They said Microsoft is considering massive layoffs in January between 11,000 and 22,000 positions as AI costs rise. Worker reports point to the Azure cloud teams, the Xbox unit, and global sales as key focus areas. And when this guy posted this earlier, it spread like wildfire. It was being talked about. Pirate Nation took it, said Microsoft Corp is reportedly planning another round of job cuts in January 2026 with the estimated roles. This would represent about 5 to 10% of the workforce, roughly 22,000 people. We got Wccftech running with it, saying Microsoft is rumored to be preparing another round of layoffs for the fourth consecutive January, potentially cutting between 11,000 and 22,000 jobs to fund its AI initiatives. And then we had later on Jez Gordon from Windows Central, who has me blocked. False on the Xbox side, at least. And this is where it was debunked completely. Frank X. Shaw, lead communications for Microsoft. Don't check this site often. Best to try to reach me other ways, like Mastodon Social and LinkedIn, which, okay. So this guy works at Microsoft Lead Communications. 100% made up, speculative, wrong. When this first came out, I was convinced that it is happening because those of you that recall in July of 2025, there was a post that went out from Windows Central. Satya Nadella says company layoffs have been weighing heavily on him, which arrived despite the objective measure that Microsoft is thriving and more layoffs could be on the way. Now, I remember when this happened last July, I reported on it, covered it. And in this article further down, we'll get to in a second, they talk about how there is a potential for even more layoffs in early 2026, which is now, well, we're there, January. It says in 2025, Microsoft became a $4 trillion company and laid off 15,300 employees. Imagine working for a company that doesn't give a about you. They just care about making more money. Now, I understand that that's what companies are in business for. But at some point, you got to be like, bro, you're the most valuable or second most valuable company on the planet. I think you could afford to keep some of these employees. But I guess when you're publicly traded, they don't give. They just want to make sure they're making more money quarter after quarter. What have you done for me lately? So further down on this, more Microsoft layoffs could be on the way. I wanted to focus on this because this is the article from last July. Nadella did not rule out future layoffs in his statement. In fact, he spoke about uncertainty. I also want to acknowledge the uncertainty and seeming incongruence of the times we're in, said the CEO. While that's not an announcement of further layoffs, the memo also doesn't include any assurance that layoffs will be limited in the near future. Following his remarks on the layoffs, Nadella explained the mission and priorities of the company. We must reimagine our mission for the new era. What does empowerment look like in the era of AI? It's not just about building tools for specific roles or tasks. It's about building tools that empower everyone to create their own tools. That's the shift we're driving from a software factory to an intelligence engine, empowering every person and organization to build whatever they need to achieve. He later outlined security, quality, and AI as Microsoft's biggest priorities. Now, the reason why I bring that all up is because in conjunction with that, there were rumors spreading online last year as well that there would be more coming first quarter 2026. According to this, it is 100% made up for January. But the original story said a new rumor suggests Microsoft is preparing to use its layoff acts once again for the fourth consecutive January cutting between 11 and 22,000 jobs across various divisions, including Xbox, because of the rising costs of the AI investment, which speaks to the point of how expensive it is for RAM right now. Never mind trying to get graphics cards and everything else for your system to even play a game. Instead of having the console ready in 2026, 2027, it's now potentially going 2028, 2029, or 2030 because AI is eating up everything. And apparently it's going to take even more, tenfold as time goes on, which is insane, but it explains the concerns people have. The rumor comes from Tip Ranks, which adds that the layoffs are expected to fall upon employees at some point in the third week of January, which, again, according to a Microsoft employee that is high up, is debunked. According to Workers Anonymous sources, even the Azure cloud team could be affected. Analyst projections had previously suggested that Microsoft may need to cut at least 10,000 employees annually just to offset increased capital depreciation costs from data center expansion. That's what I was referencing when I read last year about the layoffs that were happening, that they were talking about, yeah, they're going to need to do this every year moving forward. To the point where Microsoft would let go of the vast majority of people working there. It would just basically be Skynet at that point. Looking back over the past few years, the current fourth largest company in the world by market cap reduced its workforce by 5% in 2023, primarily as part of a resizing effort following the pandemic's mass hiring spree. That year in January, it started with 10,000 jobs lost. When the gaming teams affected were Bethesda, which is, again, every time a company gets acquired, be afraid that your job is going to be redundant and you're going to be let go working there. The Coalition, developers of Gear of War, and 343 Industries, developers of Halo. In January 2024, gaming really took the brunt of the hit. Microsoft only cut 1,900 employees, 1% of its workforce. It just happened 3 months after finalization of the acquisition of Activision Blizzard, which cost $75.4 billion. How many employees could you pay for the rest of eternity for $75.4 billion? That's one of those full stop numbers where it's like, again, they don't care about you as an employee. None of these companies do. They care about the end result. How do we make more? When all is said and done, Activision Blizzard was indeed the most infected studio, with the new survival game franchise codenamed Odyssey canceled as a result. I mean, they also canceled Perfect Dark and many other games as well with last year's cancellation. That was the 2025 one. 3% of its workforce. Perfect Dark reboot was canceled, cutting employees at Cinemax, and Rare axing Everwild, which was in development for like 8 years or longer, and they just canceled it. Turn 10 Studios was hit hard too, essentially becoming a support studio for Forza Horizon. Following that round, a report from inside revealed that Microsoft was trying their damnedest to replace human jobs with AI agents. A couple of days later, another report mentioned that the layoff rounds were fundamentally needed to fund increased spending in AI infrastructure, which at the time when I covered that in 2025, I was like, it's hysterical when all these managers are telling the employees, no, AI is not going to take your job. AI is here to enhance what you do here already. The next day, anyways, we got to let you go because we can't afford the AI that's going to be taking your job. Windows Central. And from Jez Gordon, who was the one that debunked it as well. Xbox in 2026, what to expect from Team Green this year and beyond. It's an interesting and potentially pivotal year for Xbox in 2026. After a somewhat unprecedented year of negative headlines, Xbox has an opportunity to turn around this year. And ironically, a couple hours after this article got posted, it was when that rumor started coming through. And it was like, man, that's raining on the parade of, oh, Xbox has a chance to do something special right now. I'm not holding my breath. There's nothing that Xbox could come out with that I'd be like, I'm getting that day one. They've lost me as a customer wholeheartedly. There's nothing they can do. Literally nothing outside of making a banger console for an affordable price and saying the next Halo game is exclusive to it. And that Halo game gets 10 out of 10 reviews from gamers across the board saying it's it's reinvigorating everything and blows everyone's mind. Then I'd be like, okay, now we're back. Now we have something to talk about. But right now, no, they're not going to do that exclusivity because they have it on PC. I'll just play whatever games they have on PC. A console for Microsoft makes zero sense at this point because they've split themselves too thin. They've put their games on everything. Why would I care about anything Xbox? There's no exclusivity anymore. Why would anyone buy anything from them? Why would you lock yourself to their platform to get their games where you can get them on other platforms that have games locked to those platforms? It makes no sense. It's Xbox 25th anniversary this year. It's starting on a bit of a sour note for many. It really shouldn't. Xbox has a fantastic 2025 on paper. Xbox first what? We live on the same planet. Xbox first party shipped more games than ever. That's not great. Expedition 33 is not an Xbox game. Hollow Knight Silksong is not an Xbox game. This is just on Game Pass, but these aren't Xbox games. They're on everything. Stop giving credit to Microsoft for shit that's available everywhere else. That's not what Xbox of 2025 will be remembered for. Sadly, Microsoft has been working overtime to sink its image, injecting AI slop into every product it has, laying off thousands while bragging about how much of its code is written by AI and hiking prices of products to uncomfortable levels. Xbox Game Pass picked up a 50% price hike on the highest tier, and Xbox X and S hardware has become prohibitively expensive, leading to free fall sales declines. I could keep going on the article, but the greater point with all of this being is apparently, allegedly, Microsoft is trying to come out with a new console as soon as 2026. If that happens, hey, cool, I guess, if you're into that sort of thing. I don't understand why anyone would care about it. The greater concern that I'd have when it comes to Microsoft is if they're going to have another round of layoffs, not in January, because that's apparently been debunked, but I don't know, February, or more likely March of 2026, with a substantial amount of people from the gaming division laid off. What's that mean for the future of the games that are coming out? They can't even get games out the door right now, canceling them left and right, destroying studios all over the place. Perfect Dark, a game that they showed a trailer for, and it turned out to be fake. Like they didn't even have anything. It's just, they've lost people. It's unfortunate too, because Xbox, the original Xbox, was a beacon of hope for gamers, a piece of driftwood in the sea for people to cling to and say, we got it. This is our system. We have something special here. They've lost that entirely. In corporate greed, I don't know. At this point, I don't know why anybody would give a shit about anything that Microsoft's coming out when it comes to gaming, consoles specifically, but even the games themselves. Why? But anyways, I'll leave that there.